limit outdoor exposure. Even 10 to 30 minutes outside could cause frostbite and hypothermia at the coldest of times. We also need Kentuckians to make sure they're bringing their pets inside. This weather is just as dangerous for them. We can also now announce that we are forecast to get a little snow beginning Thursday night and Friday. It looks like up to an inch for parts of Kentucky. These will be light accumulations, but with the cold temperatures, they will make things more dangerous. It'll likely lead to prolonged impacts from the weekend storm because we're not getting enough of a break for ice and snow to efficiently melt this week. We need everyone to remain alert. The toughest news of the day is our confirmed deaths have jumped significantly. We are now confirming 10 weather-related deaths that we have connected to this storm. They include the 72-year-old woman from Whitley County and the 48-year-old man in Morgan County. Those are the two that have been announced. In addition, a 70-year-old man in Graves County, a 68-year-old man in Davis County, a 62-year-old man in Pulaski County, two separate 71-year-old men in Johnson County, the 64-year-old man in Johnson County, a 78-year-old man in Owen County, and the mayor of Louisville announced a 55-year-old man there. We are confirming that through the Department of Public Health, but that would sadly get us up to 10 confirmed deaths. We are praying for all of these families during this difficult time. We are also opening the Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund, where we will offer to pay $10,000 apiece for each of these funerals. The first thing we do in Kentucky is grieve together, and we don't want these families to have to wait for reimbursement by FEMA. We've been raising money into this fund to respond to situations like this, and we'll be reaching out to those families directly. In the past, we've heard that it's a big help, that at times when people are still reeling, especially after losing somebody in such a difficult and traumatic way, that it's maybe just a little bit of light in a dark time, and if we can be there for those families, we want to be. As of about 1:30 today, we were at 12,485 power outages. About half of that is in the Tri-County EMC. We currently have 364 utility workers in that co-op area alone, that we are hearing it might be up to a week before power is fully restored for all those customers. What that means is if you're in that area, you need to prepare. You need to know where your warming center is. You need to be staying with family. You just need to take all the steps necessary to make sure you get through this, even if it's prolonged, because it is going to be dangerously cold, especially at night, until the middle of next week. And then it's not going to be warm. It just won't be as dangerously cold. Power has now been restored to 82% of the homes or businesses that at any point lost it. Top counties for power outages remain Pulaski, Allen, and Monroe. Currently, we have 1,920 utility workers working in or around Kentucky. We've had 17 cut and toss teams working across the state. Forestry now has 10 SAW teams supporting utility crews in KYTC in Allen, Barron, and McQuarrie counties. The National Guard's also moved an additional 48 soldiers to Allen County for welfare checks, and KYEM has moved 6 generators to Allen County. Now today, under the current state of emergency, we've authorized our transportation crews to start helping in the clearing of non-state roads in the hardest hit areas. This will let local line workers restore power more quickly. A water and a sewer update. Several line breaks have prompted boiled water advisories. You know, it might seem counterintuitive that our boiled water advisories go up, but as it stays cold for longer, pipes burst, and then that can cause these issues. I've seen some reports on water main breaks, and that could cause issues for people. We currently have 11,483 homes or businesses under boiled water advisory. 16 drinking water systems are on limited operation, and we have a total of 2,496 connections that are without water currently in Kentucky. In Allen County, we've restored power to a water tank there to keep the system functioning. Warming centers. Over 885 people came to a warming shelter last night. We still have 117 warming centers open across the Commonwealth. Remember, if you're in an area without power or without enough power, if you don't have the means, even if your area might have power, you can go to one of these warming centers and make sure you get through the night. The map we showed shows all the locations, but you can also go to this website or call that number to find your local one. We currently have 14 veterans sheltering at Blue Licks Battlefield as a nearby veteran center lost power, and we have a few more state parks that are now closed due to storm impacts. Those include Barron River, Columbus Belmont, Dale Hollow, John James Audubon, Ken Lake, Lake Barkley, Lake Cumberland, and Yatesville Lake. Our teams are working around the clock to help every area impacted. Kentucky State Police has now received 9,691 calls for service related to the winter storm. This increase is likely due to 2 interstates being closed for several hours yesterday. They conducted 448 wellness checks and responded to 649 requests for motorist assistance since this event began. State Police continue to encourage you to use 911 only for real emergencies. Received 942 calls to our unmet needs line, and we've responded to each. That number is 502-607-6665. Now for the roadways, which were seriously impacted from the ice and storm accumulations from across the state. Main roads are passable. In fact, I think most of our interstates are in really good shape. But some secondary roads still remain slick and dangerous due to the large amount of ice accumulation. As I just mentioned, under the state of emergency, we're having state transportation crews help clear non-state roads. That doesn't normally happen, but under that state of emergency, we've got these extra crews that are now available to help in certain areas. Again, it helps power get up faster. We're also assisting the city of Lexington. The city typically handles areas like New Circle Road, but late last night requested state support. We have sent 11 plow trucks to help clear roadways in the area. The Western Kentucky Parkway eastbound is currently blocked in Grayson County due to a crash. And this is a tough one. This is a crash that involved one of our contracted snowplow drivers who has now been life-flighted to a hospital for care. I think a tractor trailer may have crossed over and hit that driver. So we are praying for his or her health and hope and pray that he'll make it through it. I can't stress enough, go slow and give our workers space on the road. They're out there working to keep us safe. We need to keep them safe. Again, let's pray for a full recovery for this driver. This morning on I-75 at Lexington, KYTC set up rolling roadblocks to allow graders and plows to get to and eliminate patches of ice. Those are now complete, but lane closures for similar work is still happening on nearby main roads as well as I-64 West in Clark County. Other state road closures include a water main break blocking KY 994 in McCracken County in the city limits, and there's a utility line down on KY 2723 in Bullock County. State highway crews, nearly 1,500 trucks have worked hard to clear as many roads as possible. Crews are making great progress, but many routes are now clear, but these cold temperatures remain a challenge, especially on secondary routes. If you're on the roads, please go slow. Please take your time. That protects you and everybody else. Finally, we've submitted the first set of paperwork to begin joint damage assessment with FEMA. We believe this is going to qualify for FEMA reimbursement, provided the White House agrees to provide public assistance. I'm certain that it will meet the threshold requirements. Thus far, the federal government, the Trump administration, and FEMA is working really well with us on this one. They deserve only credit for that. They reached out ahead of time. They've checked in on us during And they've given us all indication that this is going to be declared a major disaster in terms of helping the Commonwealth financially to rebound from it. Final reminders: if you're traveling, clean off your cars and go slow. If you're without power, go to a warming center. Keep your phone charged. Make sure you have a weather safety kit ready in your car with blankets, water, and anything else you need. Keep your pets indoors. When it's really cold, don't go out for extended periods of time. Now, tomorrow, we may have a part of the day where it gets close to 30. That would be the time, as long as you're bundled up, to get out there and get that dog out there. Your local meteorologist can probably give you a really good set of times for that. Make sure you have proper ventilation. If you use a generator, at least 20 feet from the home. Do not use wood-burning stoves or anything else for purposes of heat. We think one of the deaths may be related to that. And check on your neighbors. I'll remind everyone again, take breaks when you're shoveling. It looks like we've got at least a heart attack in this death list. Remember, it's hard for the ambulances to get to you. And we don't want to lose individuals to that. Brittany lost a family member a long time ago to that, to shoveling snow, and then because of the conditions, the ambulance couldn't get to her family member in time. So I want everyone to get through this safely. Don't take a risk. It is not worth it. And remember, if you need help, it is available. Again, avoid calling 911 unless it's an emergency. If so, definitely call 911. Otherwise, you can call your local KSP post or our unmet need line at 502-607-6665. This has been a massive storm. And sadly, we've now lost 10 Kentuckians. Let's think about those families. If you can, if you know them, reach out. They're going to need you during this time. And let's make sure that we don't lose others. Check on your neighbor, especially check on seniors, check on families with young children. Let's do what we can to make sure we get through this, and we get through this together. With that, I'll open it up to questions. One journalist in studio. We'll start with Carolina.
Governor, 10 deaths. Are these hypothermia, cold-related deaths, or is there something else contributing to these problems? Because we've been hearing about coming through windshields. What's the deal?
So I think we have a mix in terms of the deaths. We have at least a couple that are hypothermia, but remember, you could be outside, you could fall, and then it's the cold that may be the major factor in it. We've had at least one heart attack. We had at least one fall on the ice, and then it looks like we had a house fire that caused the death of another. So it's a mix all the way through. Okay, we'll go to Tom Latek, who's on the line.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon to you, sir. I had a quick question. Have you received any reports of gasoline shortages anywhere in the state?
We had reports of gasoline shortages during the Sunday, Monday time period, and that was because the trucks couldn't get to the stations to fill them back up. I'm not hearing the same complaints, but I would, if you're going to go on a longer trip, call and check to ensure that you can get the gasoline you need. But I think the great work, and I want to say the great work that our state and most of our local transportation and road crews have done has just been outstanding. And because of that, we're resolving most of it. All right. Stan, are you on the line?
CC. Hello? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm listening to a laptop over here because of sound issues.
Understand that one of the deaths was an inmate from EKCC that was on a work crew removing snow. Do these crews have the proper gear to work in these icy conditions? And also, we're hearing concerns from family members of people incarcerated at EKCC that there's not adequate heat at that prison. Can you address that as well?
Let me check on the temperature of the prison. I believe that it is adequate. It doesn't mean that it's really warm, but we'll get you what those temperatures are. we've done what the Justice Department has followed their procedures since this death. They called and notified KSP, and KSP will investigate on that side. But then we're going to make sure that we are fully looking at all of the policies and procedures and whether or not they were followed. I want to make sure we are fully transparent about what happened in this instance, that we get to the bottom of it with all of the facts, good or bad. I think the family deserves that, and at least for the future, we need to know exactly what happened, what lessons need to be learned, what might need to be done differently next time. But I want to make sure that we go through the investigations and make sure that we get all of the facts instead of conjecture or the rest. But I think I know we will let the truth speak for itself, again, good or bad. And finally, Karen Czar.
Good afternoon, Governor. Thank you. What is your main concern or additional challenges if we get more snow or ice later this week? Will federal assistance apply to anything that occurs in front rows in? Thank you.
Federal assistance should apply if we get more snow on Friday or Saturday because the event is still continuing. Think about the duration of the event. Really is the amount of time it takes to get power back up for our hardest hit areas. So I'm not concerned that more snow wouldn't be covered in what would qualify for the federal assistance. I'm mainly concerned that people have been cooped up for a long time and want to get out there, and we're doing a really good job on the roads, but a little snow, even just a little snow in these conditions, could make them slick again. So the thing I hope that we're all communicating, that the media is communicating, is especially when that happens again Friday into Saturday, let's make sure we continue to be careful. Just because you could go the speed limit on Thursday with the way the roads are doesn't mean you necessarily can on Friday. That and my main worry is the areas that have been without power since Saturday and might be without power another 7 days. I want to make sure that everybody in those areas is either getting to a warming center or staying with a friend or family member. This is likely the last live update we'll provide on the storm, but we will continue daily to put out any new updates as they come. And if the weather forecast for Friday gets more serious, we'll make sure to update that as well. Thank you.
It's no question that your pets deserve the best when it comes to, well, everything.